Greetings to all our learners. Welcome to CEC lecture. The topic of analysis is United Nations Specialized Agencies. In this lecture, we shall analyze that how United Nations today is an important international organization and looking at the special functions of United Nations Specialized Agencies, how they have a bearing on maintenance of international peace and security. The lecture shall explain the roles of various United Nations specialized agencies, UN specialized agencies which are autonomous organizations working with the UN. It shall attempt to make the learner understand that how specialized agencies along with the United Nations, which is collectively called as the United Nations system, today they are playing a very important role when we look at the aspect of international peace and security from economic, social, cultural and humanitarian insights. United Nations is an international organization which was founded in 1945 after the Second World War. And key role of the several United Nations specialized agency was that of international agenda and standard setting, solving economic, social, cultural and humanitarian problems through international cooperation. And this is where one must factor in that how important is the role of UN specialized agencies. We all know that, and in San Francisco, 51 countries gathered to sign the UN Charter. The document, which was a charter which created an organization that was United Nations, established on 24th October 1945, the United Nations replaced the League of Nations after the Second World War. Further, it took the role of the peacekeeper of the world. It assumed necessary powers to avoid conflicts. This resulted in a world war through its various agencies or organizations, each established because of a particular role. So, what we see here is that this quest to avoid conflicts, because the world had seen the First World War, the world had seen the Second World War. So, looking at that and to safeguard and strengthen further the United Nations role of a peacekeeper, several UN agencies were established with a particular mandate. Due to the powers vested in the Charter and its unique international character, dear learners, we must take into account that how the United Nations can take action on issues confronting humanity in the 21st century. And the issues are indeed varied: peace and security, climate change, sustainable development, human rights, disarmament, terrorism, humanitarian and health emergencies, gender equality, governance, food production, amongst others. Now, as we are deliberating on UN specialized agencies, these specialized agencies, dear learners, we must take into account that they are independent, autonomous organizations that are part of the broader UN system. Further, the next point of analysis: specialized agencies may implement projects or serve as international standard setting bodies. Next point in the same line: specialized agencies have their own characters, which states that one must agree in order to become their members. While they are autonomous, the specialized agencies, they coordinate with the United Nations and each other. One of ECOSOC's mandate, to add here, is to coordinate UN activities and policies with the specialized agencies. Further, as we will analyze the aim and working of UN specialized agencies in this lecture, we shall find that how many specialized agencies share resources and engage in joint work. Herein, a distinction must be made between specialized agencies and UN funds and programs. Now, when United Nations was created, there were many issues for deliberations. This needed cooperation of stakeholders, and the solution was creation of specialized and technical agencies. The specialized agencies, as we just discussed, they are independent organizations which look after discussing issues, setting international standards, implementing projects around the world. Whereas, on the contrary, we must distinguish this from United Nations funds and program, which are initiatives of the UN system funded by the voluntary contributions and aimed at specific problems around the world. Dear learners, in this lecture we shall analyze the working of United Nations Industrial Development Organization, World Tourism Organization, Universal Postal Union, World Health Organization, World Intellectual Property Organization, World Meteorological Organization, and the World Bank Group, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, International Development Association, and International Finance Corporation. UN specialized agencies, once again, are autonomous organizations working with the United Nations. They are brought into a relationship with the UN through negotiated agreements. Now, one must take into account that today when we look at 17 UN specialized agencies, from ILO to IMF to World Bank Group, some of them existed before the First World War, while others were associated with League of Nations. Others were also created almost simultaneously with the United Nations, and others were created by the UN to meet the emerging needs as and when the organization proceeded with its work. To continue with our discussion on UN specialized agencies, we shall first analyze the working of United Nations Industrial Development Organization. The United Nations Industrial Development Organization is a specialized agency of the United Nations. It assists countries in economic and industrial development. Dear learners, the headquarters of UNIDO are at Vienna, Austria. Continuing forward, the World Tourism Organization. The United Nations World Tourism Organization, it is the United Nations specialized agency entrusted with the promotion of responsible, sustainable and universally accessible tourism. It is having its headquarters in Madrid, Spain. Continuing further, the Universal Postal Union. The Universal Postal Union is United Nations specialized agency and postal sector's primary forum for international cooperation. Further, see, it was established way back even before the League of Nations, even before the United Nations. It was established in 1874. Its headquarters is in the Swiss capital of Bern. It is the second oldest international organization worldwide. The World Health Organization, WHO. WHO's primary role is to direct international health within the United Nations system and to lead partners in global health responses. Reading further from WHO Constitution, stating that the WHO Constitution, which establishes the agency's governing structures and principles, states its main objectives, and that is the attainment of all peoples of the highest possible level of health. Further, its present head is Tedros Adhanom. WHO is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It was founded on 7th April 1948, and the parent organization of WHO is United Nations Economic and Social Council. Continuing forward, World Intellectual Property Organization. It is the global forum for intellectual property, services, policy, information and cooperation. To add here, it is the self-funding agency of the United Nations. Its aim is development of a balanced and effective IP system that enables innovation and creativity for the benefit of all. Its governing procedures are set out in the World Intellectual Property Organization, the convention, that is the WIPO convention, which established WIPO in 1967. The World Meteorological Organization, WMO, it is a specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for promoting international cooperation on atmospheric science, climatology, hydrology, geophysics. The World Meteorological Organization is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It was founded on 23rd March 1950. The World Meteorological Organization is an intergovernmental organization with a membership of 193 member states and territories. Further, talking about International Meteorological Organization, that it originated from the roots of it were planted at the 1873 Vienna International Meteorological Congress. Established by the ratification of the WMO Convention on 23rd March 1950. WMO became specialized agency of the United Nations for meteorology, that is weather, climate, operation hydrology, related geophysical sciences a year later. When we look at the working of WMO, we must take into account that its supreme body is the World Meteorological Congress. Talking further about United Nations specialized agencies, in this lecture we shall now have a look at the World Bank Group. The World Bank is a unique global partnership. There are 5 institutions working for sustainable solutions when we look at the World Bank Group that reduce poverty and they attempt to build shared prosperity in developing countries. One of the world's largest sources of funding and knowledge for developing countries, it's the World Bank. Reading from World Bank online sources, that is World Bank's 5 institutions, they share a commitment to reducing poverty, increasing shared prosperity and promoting sustainable economic development. Dear learners, IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and once again reading from worldbank.org, that IBRD is the world's largest development bank. IBRD attempts to provide financial products and policy advice to help countries reduce poverty and extend benefits of sustainable growth to all their people. In the same line, talking about UN specialized agencies from the World Bank Group, the IDA, and reading from the worldbank.org, the IDA, which is International Development Association. It is working with partners including UN agencies, humanitarian organizations, research institutions to tackle food insecurity across multiple fronts. It attempts to address challenges in agriculture, safety nets, health, water and economic stability. Now, dear learners, we must take into account that when we are talking about the World Bank Group, so IBRD, IDA, They are UN specialized agencies. And the last one is IFC, which is International Finance Cooperation. Once again, reading from worldbank.org, that is, IFC works with private sector in developing countries to create markets that open up opportunities for all. IFC, a sister organization of the World Bank and a member of the, to read here, World Bank Group. It is one of the largest global development institutions, and it is focused exclusively on the private sector in developing countries. The IFC was established in 1956. It provides various forms of financing without sovereign guarantees, and this is primarily to the private sector. Now, dear learners, we must take into account that here an important aspect. The World Bank Group comprises of IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IDA, International Development Association, IFC, International Finance Cooperation, MIGA, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, ICSID, International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. Now, UN, and when we look at the World Bank Group, only IBRD, IFC, IDA are specialized agencies of the UN. ICSID and MIGA are not specialized agencies of the UN. So, IBRD and IDA, they provide loans at preferential rates to member countries as well as grants to the poorer countries. IFC, MIGA, ICSID, they rather, and on the other hand, they focus on strengthening the private sector in developing countries by providing financing, technical assistance, political risk insurance and settlement of disputes to private enterprise, including financial institutions. Now, dear learners, as we've just seen that how important the working of various United Nations specialized agencies. Now, to elaborate further on it, we take reference to this work, UN Ideas That Change the World. The book is from Indiana University Press, 2009. Now, this book makes a very interesting declaration, an interesting point, that ideas and concepts, they have been a driving force in human progress. And when we look at United Nations ideas, namely the need to have peace, the need to have security, the need to say no to disarmament, the need for international cooperation. So, these ideas have set the present, the past, the present and future international agendas in many global, economic and social arenas. And to add here, how the UN ideas, namely the need for a world without wars, without conflict, the need to cater to peace, and looking at how United Nations caters to cooperation through its various specialized agencies, from tackling malnutrition, improving agriculture through the work of Food and Agriculture Organization, from attempting to strive better labor standards through International Labour Organization, and by attempting to have fiscal stability through the working of International Monetary Fund, how United Nations ideas and the working of UN specialized agencies must be seen in this regard, that how they have set the past, the present and the future international agendas in many global, economic and social arenas. And also, these UN ideas, as the book points out, they only have led to initiatives and actions that have improved the quality of human life. So, what is essential here is that when we try to understand the work of UN and also look at the working of UN family, looking at the role of specialized agencies, we see that how United Nations can play a very important role, continue playing its very important role in confronting the challenges of human survival with dignity. Because today when we are living at a time when security is multidimensional, security cannot be just reduced to military security. Today, food, health, economy are important aspects of security in international arena. Many nations are working forward to factor them on the secure safety valve while looking at the aspect of the emerging new dimensions of security. So, seen in this regard, United Nations through its various specialized agencies is indeed playing an important role. Further, the context of global politics has indeed changed. The state exists with non-state actors, and today new security threats, namely rise of pandemics, ecological concerns and new concerns like the need to respect diversity, factor in gender equity, tackle poverty, work out sources of employment, all of it have a bearing on not only the national interest agenda but also for global bargaining and international negotiation. So, seen in this regard as too, United Nations specialized agencies are indeed playing a very important role. We take reference to this very interesting article on the rights track, United Nations specialized agencies and the use of human rights language. Now, this article that we got it from online sources yesterday. Now, this article makes some very interesting points that we state, namely that is the United Nations and its specialized agencies, they play an important role in international economic and social cooperation. Their role, when we try to understand, it covers a broad spectrum of areas and topics. But over the years, and also as we saw in the lecture, working of ITU, working of the Universal Postal Union, over the years many UN agencies have adopted a human rights based approach. So, this very important aspect that this journal article presents to us here is that human rights have become more prominent and visible, but important aspect to ponder over with related to this aspect here is that is whether rights language used in the framework of policy documents, strategies, decisions or projects would give rise to legal responsibility and or accountability of the agencies and other actors such as states. United Nations specialized agencies, dear learners, as we saw in the lecture, they are autonomous organizations which are associated with United Nations through negotiated agreements. Provisions regarding their formations amongst others are given in Article 57 and 63 of the UN Charter. We must take into account that when we understand the working of UN specialized agencies, from Food and Agriculture Organization to International Telecommunication Union to the World Bank Group to International Monetary Fund, all of them were not created at the same time. There is a variance, namely some existed as early as before the First World War and some came into existence to meet the emerging needs of the World War II. We all know that today global governance is facing challenges as well as new opportunities. Seen in this regard, international cooperation is indeed a very important aspect, and to factor in international cooperations right since the end of the Second World War, United Nations has been playing an important role. And to add more aspects and more benefits to this advantageous role of UN, the United Nations specialized agencies have been trying to factor in international cooperation, play an important role in international agenda setting, play an important role in guiding and regulating world summits to present to us ideas, policy solutions to ensure that the world is there with a lot of peace and to ensure that world is moved away from an arena of conflicts to an arena where there is cordial relations between and amongst the nation states. We hope that the lecture on United Nations specialized agencies gave you important inputs to ponder over role of international organization, significance of United Nations, the challenges, the opportunities, and above all the varied and multifaceted roles the various United Nations specialized agencies play. We look forward to positive, encouraging feedback from you all for the lecture. Thank you very much for being with us for the lecture.